as you think about this fight with Harvard, it's part of a broader fight where you basically have the President of the United States against the courts. And you see this with the battle with law firms. You see it with Harvard. You see it with tariffs. On the tariffs specifically, as you've watched that through the lens of someone who understands how the courts work, is that going to end up in the Supreme Court? Is that going to be the ultimate arbiter of whether or not Trump can enact something he's cared about for 30, 40 years?
Oh, yeah, Gemma, I think that will end up at the Supreme Court pretty quickly. Within a matter of a few weeks, you have rulings coming up from sort of two different threads. This big one that came out of the Court of International Trade, which gets almost no press coverage under normal situations and deals with whether duties were charged incorrectly on some particular product. But here, dealing with this sort of momentous issue of the national economy, and then some other cases coming up through other courts. Yeah, I think it'll reach the Supreme Court, and it's going to be a fascinating test for the conservatives up there because they also have sort of two competing theories of the case. One is, as you know, a lot of them are pro-presidential power, historically pro-executive power, but that tends to be more in the national security, maybe the foreign policy arena. But then on the other side, they tend to be more libertarian and deregulatory on economic issues and actually sometimes against executive power when it's framed as the power of federal agencies to regulate individuals. They tend to lean towards Congress on that issue. And so it'll be really interesting to see whether those conservative justices view tariffs as primarily an economic issue, which might mean they'll come down against Trump, or do they view them as primarily a national security issue? And I think you should look for the administration to frame the case as one of national security and foreign policy in an effort to win those justices over.